Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliette, and today I'm going to be channeling your angels, ancestors, and guides, of course. And let's just get right into it. Have you guys been experiencing more paranormal-esque type of activities in your home? Because I am. And it's always at the time where I normally do my readings. And I had to put it in my mind that fear was not going to stop me from doing anything. Right? I think paranormal activity, the fun aspect of it for those on the other side is to incite that fear, to really get people in this realm really riled up over things and noises and spooks, right? But as a psychic, I have to deal with entities kind of not constantly. It's not constantly, it's just they do appear sometimes, and my advice is to simply stand your ground, realize that your space is yours and you're allowed to have whatever energy you want in it. And no one else can say anything. Nothing else can say anything. It is what it is. And there must be respect where you reside. There must be boundaries where you reside. And if it's an entity that you can't really get rid of, or it's just like random stuff that you can't really pinpoint, just simply hold your ground. Don't falter. Don't let the fear feed into don't let them feed off your fear, basically. And if they are, tell them to back off, because that's your energy that they're going after, and that's not fair to you. So that's the advice I have regarding entities or weird things happening in your home. Simply realize that you may have kind of allowed it to occur just because, fear makes us not want to look at it. It makes us want to turn away. And so the reason why it does that is it's so that we don't look at it and we don't address it properly. So if you can just address it properly and call it out for what it is and be like, this is my home. There needs to be respect. There needs to be boundaries, and you're not even welcome here to begin with. So me giving you this ounce of respect means that you have a chance to either get out yourself or I will do it for you. Right? And that's all you have to do. There is a bit of banishing that needs to happen, but it's simply you putting down that energetic boundary, right? There's always a physical boundary and there's an energetic boundary. And those two things need to be secure in order for a truly peaceful home that invites positive energy and whichever energy you decide to allow in your home. Right? So let's get into the reading, because I don't know. I just heard some creaks and I'm like, we're not doing this right now. We're not doing this right now. So spirit guides for the collective, please. Two more for the collective. All right. The Magician is the back of the deck energy. Okay, so there's a transformation occurring in your life right now, and it's regarding how you see your life with the Five of Cups upright. It's regarding your perception of what has occurred and what you have lost, right? Right now, it's a I've lost this and this and this, right? But you realize that's only put you in a victim state. Yes, it's good to acknowledge, but when we constantly do it, it keeps us in a victim mindset so that we don't actually have to do anything about it. And you realize this. And so there's alchemization happening in that field of your life right now, where it's your perception, you're clearing your thoughts, you're allowing more positive thoughts to come through, and you're able to see the lessons in past events where you weren't able to see it before. That's what I'm hearing. And this is going to free you from that cycle because, acknowledging where you went wrong, where you allowed certain energies to come in, there are consequences to being so open, right, with no boundaries. And you had to really learn that in order to truly be an open person, there needs to be a lot of boundaries in place because you deserve it and you should respect yourself and others should respect you as well, right? And so you're realizing that, this victim mindset just wasn't helpful for you anymore. And at a time, it was really good to have it acknowledged and to have support over what had occurred. But now it's time to, on your timing, this is what I'm picking up on. You're realizing it is now time for you to see it in a different way. Take the lessons for what they are and not personalize it any further. Right? I think I have an issue with that as well, where, a lot of things in my past, I tend to kind of be like, I can't believe that happened to me. That was so unfair. Just a bunch of like, this happened to me, and then this happened to me, and then this happened to me. And, eventually I had to realize that my own words were keeping me in a trap, right? And it was my own narrative, it was my own story that was creating this trap in my head. It was all mental. And so you realize this, and you're coming to realize it if you haven't. But either way, it's transforming. It's going to be out of your life. You're not going to have to worry about that anymore because you're going to learn how to step into a more empowered state and really embody that empowered energy, taking the lessons for what they are, learning what you need to learn and leaving it at that, and not picking it up and not scrutinizing over and not going over every detail for the 100th time. You're putting it down and you're realizing there's more to do with my energy and my time now than this. So this has to stop because there's other things I kind of want to do. It's simply that. And so, yeah, Prince of Swords is going to be your first card that I pulled out for you in reverse, followed by the 10 of Cups in reverse. So, somebody failed to deliver clarity to you, or there was clarity that was not, it just wasn't given to you. Someone chose to not give it to you. And because they wanted you in a state of the 10 of Cups in reverse. And 10 of Cups in reverse is basically, it's going after your internal happiness. It's going after your emotional state. Someone wants you triggered. Someone wants you feeling less than. Someone wants you feeling like you don't deserve a lot, that you don't deserve all the cups that you have, all this satisfaction in your life, all this happiness. And, they just didn't want to give you something that they had a hold over, and that was the one thing that they could kind of withhold from you so that there would still be importance of that person in your life. That's what I'm hearing, because they know that you're going very, very far, because they can see it on you right now with the 9 of Pentacles. I'm trying to pick it up and I cannot for some reason. This is how they see you. They see you as a 9 of Pentacles, which is just full embodiment of your own abundance, full embodiment of the physical world. Maybe you guys are indulging a little, and that's okay, because I don't think you guys naturally do indulge a lot. And so in this time of your life, you're just indulging, and you're not letting others make you feel weird for doing it, and you're not allowing others to see yourself in a negative way for being in a part of it, being in a stage of your life, you know. Just because they have something to say about it doesn't mean that it's actually relevant to you, right? That's the boundary right there. It's like, well, people can say whatever they want, but truly that just doesn't really matter when it comes to my own life. You know, I might hear it, I might be shocked by it sometimes, but at the end of the day, I know that that's just words coming out of someone's mouth. I really shouldn't attach myself to that, you know, because a lot of words come out of very chatty people. And sometimes not everything needs to be latched onto. And so you're breaking free from that with the Eight of Swords in reverse. You're breaking free from relying on people to speak about you positively. You're breaking free from even needing someone to offer you any clarity. If there's no clarity, then it's a no, right? If it's not a yes, it's a no. And so even with that alone is enough for you to carry forward, because maybe you guys are stuck in a state of confusion. Of course, you know, the cards are telling you like someone's doing it on purpose. But so yeah, maybe you guys have been in a state of confusion, and it's really bothered you for a while, you know, causing you to feel a little bit irritable. I don't know, the King of Wands in this one looks a little pissed. And so maybe you guys, you know, were a bit irritable because there just wasn't clarity on your situation, and you just wanted some clarity over it. But maybe the person that would give it to you, you know, they're not talking to you, or they're not open to communication. And so it's really frustrating you, because I see that you do want a new beginning in life in general, not with this person per se, but just in general. You just want to start anew. You want to claim this new identity that you feel you're shifting into. And there's some loose ends that you have. But at the end of the day, if they're not going to be dealt with, then fine. You're still going to move forward. It's fine. Some things are, you know, there's always mysteries in life. Let that one be one as well. Just be like, I don't know. And be okay with not knowing. Be okay with not knowing. That is a message for you. There's sirens outside. And yeah, so be okay with not knowing, because this person seems to kind of just hold it like they kind of like dangle it like a carrot in front of you, and they're like, come over here, I'll tell you everything if you come over here, though, if you agree to come over here and allow me in your energy. And even then, you know, it might not even be like the full truth. It might not even be full accountability. Maybe that's what you're looking for. It's not even full reflection of their actions. It's just you'll come to see that it's very superficial. It's surface level, not superficial, surface level. It's I'll put on this mask for you because I know this is what you like, but this is not how I am. So I'm only going to be able to give this to you in little bits, because this is not who I am, but I can offer you that mask. You know, that's kind of what they're going to come in to try to say to you. It's like, I can't be the authentic version of myself because I simply haven't met that version of myself yet. And so, but I still want you in my life, even though I don't really know what I want in life. I still want you around, even though I don't know if I want you around all the time. You know? And that just really sucks, because that's not fair to you, right? This goes back to the first thing I said about the ghosts. You know, it's like, it's just not fair to you. It's just not fair. You deserve to be respected in your own home. You deserve to be respected in your energy, and you deserve to be respected when people approach you and come and to have conversation, but even just interaction with you. It's just those kind of offers are just so tiny compared to what you deserve and you have received before, right? And so you're just not lowering your standards just because someone can't really offer the full thing for you. In that case, it's I wish you the best, but I kind of need you to be real 24/7. And if you can't, then, you know? With the Two of Swords in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. Yeah, this lack of clarity, this state of confusion. It's, the Two of Swords really tells me there is confusion over something, and it needs to be met in your shadows. And I always say this. I went to cleanse a house one time because someone needed a ghost out of their home. And so I came through and I was just trying to check out the situation for them. And I realized oh, it's not actually a ghost. It's just a part of you that you're denying. And so it's following you around, trying to get your attention because it's too difficult to reach you in the conscious state that you're in. And so, you might be experiencing those kind of things because it's just calling you to do a deeper introspection into self and see all the shadow aspects. What are shadow aspects? Those are the parts of you that you have felt ashamed of, that you are scared of, that you think others don't necessarily accept or love about you, right? All those aspects that you would cast aside because it's not favorable, those are the aspects that you need to meet. And not just, have a little quick, okay, I see that, I'm good now. It's no, have invite it to sit down with you and have a conversation with you. Imagine a round table kind of thing. Tell all the aspects of you to sit and be hey, let's have a conversation about us, about our relationship with self, all these aspects of ourselves. Let's actually create a relationship with those parts of you. Why not? It's you. You can't just cast it aside for the rest of your life. Those are just precious parts of you that you've learned just doesn't give you favorable outcomes. So you just don't give it love. But the reason why those traits even came out in the first place is because it was never met with love. And the only reason why I was able to, I'm just going to give you a vulnerable thing about me. The only reason why I was able to step out of this need of anger, okay, is because I met my anger. I met it. And I talked to it. And I realized that anger was just my inner child. It literally was just my child self, so incredibly pissed off at the BS that has occurred. And I'm no, you're right. That shit's effed up. If that happened to me as an adult, I would be absolutely furious because now I have boundaries in place. Now I have my own foundation. But back then I didn't have one. And so I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't give myself a better life because I was a kid. And yeah, like meeting that part of me that was pissed off, I'm like, no, that's valid. You're allowed to be pissed off at that. Honestly, I wouldn't even hold it against me to be that pissed off forever. But I just decided that, like I would rather meet that part of me than to just allow others to tell me constantly that they're scared of me, that they that I have anger issues, that I'm out of control. It's like, well, yes, but like there was an underlying like reason as to why. And it's not to excuse my behavior before, because even now I'm just like, yeah, I acknowledge that like that level of anger can cause very, very like volatile reactions. I can understand. And like, of course, you can hold yourself accountable, but you need to understand why you did it in the first place to know how you can deal with it, right? And so maybe you guys deal with anger issues as well. Just know that, it is possible to kind of not allow that to take over. It's really about like how much respect you have for yourself and how much energy you would like to expel. Because anger, like when you're channeling it, it's expelling a lot of energy. And so it's just like you at first you're just catching yourself when you're expelling all that energy. You don't have to like fix yourself or anything. You're just witnessing yourself. Excuse me. You're witnessing yourself. And wow, I forgot where I was going with that because I saw the strength card. But yeah, just meet yourself. Don't deny it, because even if it comes and approaches you in a scary way, if you tell that shit to melt and just show the authentic version of that, you will be very surprised as to what you will see. Right? It's not Hollywood fears, it's not Bible fears either. It's just you and your energy and your inner temple and your inner state, right? And your emotions, how you deal with things, how you react to things and stuff like that. That's all the things that you can really control. And so those are really the things that should be focused on. Not all the exterior things that change on a whim, that depend on all these types of variables, right? There needs to be a steady foundation within self, and I think that's what you're seeking right now, collective. And so just meet like a shadow aspect of you. I don't know which aspect of that is for you. If you don't know either, just calm your nervous system with deep breaths and then ask yourself, whatever unmet part of me is calling to me right now, come forth. Let me see you. Let me acknowledge you. And don't put any expectations. Don't even expect to see anything. Just kind of like put that intention out there and allow whatever to come through. Right? Don't deny it. Don't put any blockages. Don't try to reason with it. Don't try to logic it. Just allow it to come through. Just like as if you're like calling a number and being like, number 36, come forth. You don't know who number 36 is, but that's the next number. And so you're just going to call it. So just have that kind of like understanding and call forth without any expectations. And I'm sure you'll be able to see. I'm sure you'll be able to connect. And then really journal. Like have your journal next to you, and the minute you get that epiphany, write it down. The minute you see something, note it. And then when you're out of that visualizing, write it down, draw it, describe it, whatever you can do to piece it all together. Because it's kind of like a little mystery game with spirit. They don't tell you straight up. Sometimes they do. But other times they want you to go on your journey. They want you to go on a quest to discover what your body is trying to tell you, because that journey, that maze, that the breadcrumbing towards the answer, that is reflective of how many boundaries, how many walls you have up regarding that certain thing, right? So, you know, spirituality puts a bunch of names, put a bunch of like visuals into it and makes it whimsical. But if you need it just to be like plain and simple, it's that. It's whatever you get, if you follow the breadcrumbs and you understand, and you can search it up, you can like Google it and stuff. And if you see something and you've noted it, you're going to search it up, and then it's going to lead you to like a list of different deities that it belongs to. And then you search up that deity, and then you learn more about that deity. Or if it's not even deities, it's a subject. You know, it's like breadcrumbing you to understand like a certain philosopher, or it's a certain concept of the universe, you know, like like gravity. And so just follow the breadcrumbs and you're gonna be led there. It's kind of fun in that way, if you allow it to be fun, of course. So with the strength card, you're gonna have the courage to follow these so-called fears, because you're realizing your fears are not as life-threatening as it is made out to be in your mind. And I'm sorry if I'm speaking really choppy today. It's just that like that's how the transmission is coming through today, so that's just how I'm gonna be. Sorry. But I'm not sorry. I don't think I'm doing anything that bad. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm really trying not to apologize so much. I don't know why. I just picked it up again where I'm like, oh, sorry. And I'm like annoyed of myself from how many times I'm saying sorry throughout my day. And so this is just me like noticing it about myself, and I'm just whatever. Six of Swords in reverse, which is the last card that I pulled out for you guys. There's something that is preventing you from moving forward, but Spirit is saying have the courage to push through, right? Those walls that separate you from that key truth, that clarity that you seek. You need to have the bravery to first let it go in order for it to make sense. Maybe you're too close to a certain subject or a situation. Maybe you haven't really allowed for space to occur. You know, maybe you said goodbye to someone, but you've been checking up on them every day. You agreed to no contact, but you search them up all the time. And you agreed to not pry into their life anymore. You know, maybe you noticed that you were just seeking their energy too much by searching them up. And so you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that. But it's still in your mind. That person is still in your mind. And I was supposed to be like freaking mind. It's like you're frustrated because it just won't stop. It's unrelenting. And that's why it's preventing you from moving forward, because there's something that you need to see. And it might be really tough, and that's why it's really difficult for you to see. You know, it's not that you're not able to, it's just that it's just something that you're just really sensitive to, and that's not to like call you anything. It's just that it hurts. It touches you a bit deeper than other things. Like that's your trigger, that's your like sensitive area in life, and that's like never a judgment towards you. It's just something that, you know, is very difficult for you to come to terms with because you had a really difficult time with it growing up. It's not that you're too sensitive, it's not that you're incapable. It's just that, this certain thing just hurts a lot because it hits a certain area that you have really had to protect yourself from your entire life. Because for it to be so hidden means that it needed to be consistently just pushed away, because the safety requirements to make that situation okay just wasn't available to you growing up. And so you just had to push it away in order to survive, in order to continue. You had to just accept it and learn different ways to deal with it, right? And now that you're out of it, you're realizing that, it's actually kind of harming me. It's kind of stagnating me. And now you're deciding that you want to meet it. That's going to take a while. That's going to take a lot of patience. Why? Because you spent your entire life trying to deal with it in a way that pushes it away, and you're focusing on something else, because at least that certain aspect of your life can go well if you put your energy there. You've learned that when you put energy into that other aspect of your life, okay, let's make more concrete ideas here. It's like your love life has never been that great. Okay, so you just kind of push it to the wayside, and then you focus on work. Why? Because it brings you stability, it brings you that functionality, it brings you into that state of, see, I'm a functioning person, I'm a normal person. I don't need this, I have all of this. But what you're realizing is that this area of your life, you deserve it as well. Love, you deserve it. Why not? What makes you unworthy of something that everyone yearns for in their life at some point in another? What human being decided that you will not be allowed to be loved or feel love again? That's just kind of messed up. You're seeing that now. You're like, wait, that's kind of messed up because I deserve love, and yet I've pushed it away because of one person. And that's not fair to me, because I deserve love. I deserve connection. Yes, it has scorned me in the past, but that doesn't mean that it's going to happen again. It doesn't mean that that's how it's going to happen every time, because there's so many different types of relationships. Maybe that's something you realize. It's like, oh, there's like totally different dynamics that you can have in a relationship. You can have freedom, but also be with someone. You can have respect and still dote on your partner. You can still receive love without being criticized. You can receive love without feeling like it's fake. And that starts with you really meeting yourself there in the area of love, in whichever level or capacity that you can in the moment. And then that's where you're going to work your way up. Clarity it does happen overnight sometimes, but in this case, it's something that is so rooted in your traumas. It's so rooted in your childhood, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your mom. That's what I'm hearing. It's like, I'm seeing like a kid being separated from the mom, and the mom just walking away. And so you felt like love just absolutely, you just weren't allowed to have it because it was just taken away from you, and this kind of put this block on your heart where it's like, okay, well, the only person that was supposed to love me, they didn't. So if that person doesn't love me, then why would I ever assume someone else could? Right? And so the idea of having a partner might have died with seeing someone walk away in your life. If it's not your mom, it's like a past partner that you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with. And that just shattered you. That broke your heart. Literally. It broke your heart to the point where you just stopped believing that it was even possible for you. But what you realize now is that you were just kind of putting yourself in a state of like purgatory, just in a state of stasis with that heartache. You weren't doing anything about it by pushing it away. It was just kind of there. It was just kind of existing with you as you were going through the motions. And now you're like, no, I want to fix that. No, I want to love. I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated. I deserve that. At least. and at the same time, I think you're just learning self-respect and really tying it with love, which is a really healthy way of seeing it, right? It's like the person that you keep next to you really should be the one that respects you the most, because they know what you've been through. They know what you have encountered in your life and what you've had to face. And so that person that you trust with your heart really should be respecting you the most. And you're realizing that, like maybe relationships in your past with your parents, it wasn't good because they didn't know how to respect each other, right? And so anytime things got bad, it would just become so low vibrational. It would become like pointing fingers, blaming, name calling, even up to violence, right? And that just turned you off from the idea altogether. And I know what that's like, because I had parents that just fought so viciously with each other, so viciously. And like if I was around, I'd get pulled into it. If I said anything to help out someone that I know is right in that situation, I get blamed for it because I was a scapegoat. As long as all of them had a finger to point, they all pointed at me every time I opened my mouth. It was crazy. But maybe that's something you dealt with, being the scapegoat, always having to deal with people mediating the issue. Even now today, you might have friends that just come to you to help them with their situations, to make them feel calmer, and then they leave and they go off and do their crazy like emotional roller coaster with someone, and they come right back and they're asking the same questions and they're asking for guidance, even though they know that they will not follow it themselves. Who knows? But let's pull some oracle cards to end this reading, because I don't know, I feel like I've been rambling, but maybe you guys just have dealt with that, and that's just to really signify like that spirit sees you. I don't know why that was so hard to come out, but it's just to signify like, no, we see you, we see your pain, and you're not holding it alone. You're not. So let's get some last messages for my dear collective. For the loveliest viewers, prettiest, the most handsome. Stargazers, set your sights higher, mountains, stand your ground. Okay, so seems like a situation is kind of occurring around you where it might make you kind of want to give in to where you've placed boundaries, right? But Spirit's saying, stand your ground. You made those boundaries for a reason. My ankle's itchy, sorry. You put those boundaries in for a reason. And just because you don't think it's necessary right now doesn't mean that it's just going to dissipate like that, right? So know that your boundaries, they will stay where they are. They're not going to budge just because you have a moment of, needing to reconsider. You're realizing that you have an internal system that keeps you safe regardless of your mental state, right? And it's because you set your sights higher. It's because you're following your true north. It's because you're listening to your guides. It's because you understand there's a path that's just a little bit bigger than what you're dealing with, and not just minimize what you're going through at all. It's to just remind you that, you have your sets, you have your vision set on something so much bigger than dealing with people that don't want to give you clarity. They just want to like stall time for you. So you just don't have time for that because they're trying to waste it, right? And not that they're like a waste of time. It's just that they're not serious. They don't know what they want. And so to be in your energy and to disrupt your energy, that can waste your time because they don't know what they want. And so building with that person is very unstable and it doesn't feel aligned. And so it takes a bit longer. It just kind of like that divine action just doesn't really occur because there's way too much like discourse when it comes to it. And so know that, people that don't come towards you, that don't give you what you want, leave it. If they don't want to give it, fine. It's fine. And you can be a bit petty about it in the beginning, but at the end of the day you're like, no, I know, like I really do deserve like to focus on me, to not be derailed by another human being right now, to allow myself to grow into who I need to become, not what they need me to become, what I need to become. Okay? So, keep your eyes on the prize. Don't lose yourself in this because you've gone through way more destabilizing things for this to be the nail on the head. Because you will never have that moment where there's a nail on the head. It will never be like the last straw. You're just gonna get stronger and stronger, and just because something happens where it doesn't go your way, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna be like, it must go my way every time. You're not gonna be a brat about it. I think there's I think there's a couple like spiritual channels where, not channels like on YouTube, just like the energetic channels, where it can get really petty and it can be like haha, like laughing in people's faces when they get karma served to them. And it's just like, yes, there's a sense of like they do deserve that when you see it, but you're not gonna be like, that's what you get, ha 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 ha. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna be like, I try to warn them, but what can I do? I'm just myself and they are them. I can't control them. And so if they're reaping what they sowed, then so be it. And unfortunately, that's what they chose. So, it's more of that energy where it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with you winning or losing. It doesn't have anything to do with them winning or losing. It's just like, well, you made your decision, so deal with the consequences. You made your choice, deal with the consequences. That's really like what you're exuding right now. And it's beautiful because it makes people accountable, right? It's like, I think people forget, like, there's real consequences to choices. That I can't just be like, oopsie poopsie, like, let me make it back up to you. Like, it's not that big of a deal, right? But it's like, yeah, it is a big deal. And no, you don't get a second chance. Sorry. I don't know why that came through. But that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And like this video if it resonated with you. Subscribe to the channel if you like the way I read. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Love you.